So on Friday afternoon, President Cyril Ramaphosa met with ministers, executive mayors and premiers who make up the President's Coordinating Council. The purpose of the special meeting was to convene all facets to overcome the energy crisis. Parallel to these talks, the President has been getting daily updates from Eskom on their efforts to enhance the efficiency of the power plants. So we get an assessment of this intervention, whether it will yield any results or not. We speak to political analyst Sandile Swana. Mr. Swana, thank you very much for availing yourself this morning. How do you read the mood in South Africa in trying to understand everything about this meeting as well and what the President has been doing, but how do you capture the mood in South Africa as a result of the persistent power cuts?
Yes, I think the mood is very depressed, panicked, and uninformed and confused. The mood is bad. Unfortunately, as South Africans at all levels, we have tended to expose ourselves to avoidable anxieties. As an example of this, Eskom has got what is called the system operator, which, if you like, is the auditing and forecasting arm, which tells them that over the next 5 years, every 5 years ahead of every 5 years, the next 5-year period is 2023 to 2027. How adequate is our generation capacity versus the demand? And when you read that report, which has to be issued before October 2022, and it was issued and it's readily available on the internet, in that report, which has been produced every year, it says clearly that there is no known solution on the part of Eskom, certainly the system operator, of how load shedding will be reduced before 2027. There's no scenario, in the scenario that they paint, that load shedding will be defeated before the year 2027. So when you call the premiers, the cabinet ministers and the mayors into a meeting to discuss the issue of adequacy, in other words, enough power in South Africa, to me, we need to be sure that everybody in that room has read the system adequacy report and understood the bottlenecks and how the bottlenecks in each area of responsibility will be solved. Otherwise, to come there with original creativity that is not informed by hard facts is going to be a waste of time. Even Ramaphosa, Gwede Mantashe, Pravin Gordhan, any premier, any mayor, needs to first satisfy us that they've read that report and that is the point of departure. And I'm very worried that that is not happening.
Some of those ministers who would be in that meeting, if they are, would, by virtue of the nature of their job, be exempt from load shedding. And so you speak of this report, yes, while we appreciate that, is it so impossible that we get, as a nation, an address from the head of the state to allay these fears? You've got people who are marching almost every week, going to either NERSA or going to Eskom or taking their marches to the doors of Parliament, yet we're still sitting and waiting for an update or anything at all from the President.
I listened to a statement by Magwenya, the spokesperson of the President. And I believe in that statement, that everybody in South Africa, certainly the top leaders in the state, including the mayors and the premiers and the ministers, are fully informed about the state of electricity, how much so-called wind power capacity is there, how much solar power is there, how much coal capacity is there, how much nuclear is there, what is the state of the transmission lines, etc., etc. The facts are readily available to everybody. What is not happening is the implementation of the solutions. And that has been failing since 1998, when Penuel Maduna tabled the first set of solutions to prevent load shedding in the first place. The solutions have been known since 1998 in South Africa, and they have been ignored since 1998 in South Africa. Any action, therefore, right now, whether it is a march or a protest or a legal action in court to say Eskom must produce electricity, they must stop load shedding, is no different from a rain dance or going to Mujaji to ask Mujaji to produce rain. What is truly and absolutely totally required in South Africa is the removal of the African National Congress from power on the grounds that the questions were known in 1998. The answers were known in 1998. The following year, 1999, the questions were known, the answers were known. In 2023, the questions are known, the answers are known, but there is nobody who's implementing the answers. And we have voted for a government in power that is ignoring known answers. Every professor relevant to this question has provided the answers. Every senior engineer relevant to the question has provided the answer. Every economist, every accountant, every discipline has already provided the answers. And we have a government that is intransigent, like the apartheid government before it, to implement correct solutions in South Africa.
Sandile Swana is a political analyst. Thank you for your time.